Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, happy Saturday. Welcome to a new episode. Degenerate, Danger Zone, Maniacs in the building. Show sponsor, you know it, folks. Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? Maniac, big things happening with Outlet Liquor. We might have a new sign somewhere in the store. Maybe some other things on the LED sign out front. Feeling like Johnny Drama pretty soon. Looking at that 5 towns billboard. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, not in my town, not in any of my 5 towns. But yeah, no, super exciting at Outlet Liquor and a lot of stuff going on this Slick Saturday. I mean, we've been anticipating it since Monday, basically since the Bills beat the Texans, since the Bills at halftime at Texans, honestly. Yep. But yeah, the weekend is here. College football is underway. We got a huge UB matchup tonight. We already got UFC basically underway. We got Slick Saturday. We got boxing. We got Fury Wilder, Rec Room tonight. And then, of course, we got NFL tomorrow. So it's a lot. It's almost overwhelming.
And how about Nate Geary supporting small businesses? You can't forget NHL preseason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I'm so-so on him.
But yeah, like you said, incredible slate. How about you so far today? I mean, Texas, Oklahoma. Did you have any bad beats so far on this Saturday?
The only bad beat, I mean, I did have, I had one good beat and one bad beat. I had I had Arkansas first half and Arkansas game. So in the first half, I got screwed because Ole Miss had a late TD to go up by 7. So they lost the first half. But at the end of the game, they were up 7, and I had plus 5.5, and they scored. They went for 2. It was the greatest thing, seeing the signal for 2 on the sideline when they were within 1. Just an amazing feeling. Of course, they ran a terrible play, and they didn't get it. But, yeah, I think we're officially into the part of the college football slate where, you can't just be a John Q. Public anymore. You're going to get owned.
Yeah, 100%. And I got 4 games marked down on my list here that I'm looking out for. Like you said, UB, Kent State. I hate to say it, Maniac, that line's going in the opposite direction for UB fans. I saw it around 5.5 this week. Now it's at 7 on DraftKings. Kent -7 with an over-under of 66. You got Michigan under a field goal favorite. You know the public's going to be all over that. At Nebraska at 7:30. My favorite, Virginia Tech, playing Notre Dame as a 1-point favorite at 7:30 as well. And then you got the number 1 team in the country, Alabama, 18-point favorites at Texas A&M. That's going off at 8 p.m. Anything jump out you there, Maniac, for those 4 games?
Yeah, I like UB. The line movement really doesn't worry me because if you're a UB fan or even just a UB person, like let's say you hate UB football and you watched the game last week, you watched the game the last couple weeks, the over-under of 66.5 is audacious. So the line really doesn't worry me that much because the over-under is so far off. It just shows me they don't really have a grip on this game. I guess if they're getting a ton of action on Kent State, that's good for UB. I mean, the line movement isn't where you like to see it because obviously you'd like to think UB's getting respect. But more often than not, when the line moves like this, I mean, you can figure that the other way is the way to bet. So, yeah, interesting to see that. And, I mean, I like Nebraska tonight. They're +3. They're played better. Their defense has been good recently. And Michigan hasn't been trailing at any point this year in any game. So, for Nebraska only to be +3 is a little bit audacious. I mean, lately, these audacious lines have stunk out loud. Like today, 2-3 Boise State is playing at 5-0 BYU right now. Boise State's up 17-10. So, I mean, again, BYU was a team that came in today. I think it was them, Georgia, Michigan, and BYU had not been trailing at any point in a game this year so far. But now BYU's down 7, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Michigan down a little bit tonight.
Maniac, when will I ever learn my lesson, too, about, just throwing in a college football favorite money line to a parlay? I will never learn my freaking lesson.
It's okay. It's because every time it's like a new candy. It seems so fresh. It seems so good for you, and then you bite down, and it's like a rock.
Did you see this Marshall Old Dominion game at all?
I did not. I saw it was like 10-6 at half.
Yeah, 10-6 at half, barely any points. Marshall had the heavy favorites at home. Yeah, you're right. 10-6 at half. Then it was 10-6 going into the fourth. Field goal for Old Dominion puts them up 13-6. Marshall ties it up. Under a minute to go. We're in overtime right now, and I had Marshall money line in the parlay, so I had to throw that in there. But back to UB Kent State real quick, over under 66. You're right. Insane. I wouldn't say, obviously this day exactly. It's not for the MAC East, but it's a huge game for standings and implications for the future. I think the over-under 66, way too high. It's just like that UB Western over-under was a little bit too high, in my opinion. Everyone thinking about that 72-68 final or whatever. Everyone remembers the fireworks in the past Buffalo-Kent State games, under 66.
Vegas saying that this is a 36-30 game is like crazy to me. But, I've been wrong more than often before. So hopefully they're wrong in the over-under. Hopefully it goes over. UB wins 41-30.
100%. 7:30. Notre Dame, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech laying one at home. What do you like here, Maniac?
Notre Dame hasn't shown me anything that I should be like crazy afraid of. I mean, they barely beat FSU. I mean, have they had a good win all year? No, and they were playing terrible last week. They finally have their weaknesses have been exposed. Give me Vatech at home. I mean, I know Beamer's not the coach anymore. He was the coach for basically like 4 decades where they were unbeatable at home, but that crowd is going to be rocking. They do Enter Sandman, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They're Enter Sandman. Although I respect Mariano Rivera with it. Their Enter Sandman is going to be rocking. And speaking of rocking, Old Dominion 3rd and 8 in OT, down 20-13. Currently plus 360 on the money line for Old Dominion. We'll see. We'll track that as we go throughout this show.
Please track that. Send some updates.
But Vatech. I like Vatech. I like Nebraska. I like the underdogs in these games.
Yes.
And I like UB. I do not like Texas A&M, but I also don't like Bama enough to bet them. So I'm going to lay out that game.
All right, real quick. The place to beat tonight, we've been talking about it all week. Amherst Ale House, Fury Wilder 3. Event starts at 10 p.m. I think the fight, it says 11. It's never on time. I mean, that fight's probably not happening.
11, when's first bell? Like 11:26 at the earliest?
That's what I'm thinking. There's no way it's before 11:30.
The walkout is going to be at 11. Or like they'll start talking about like the video preview. And then they'll be like, all right, after commercial, we have the walkouts. And then they'll have the walkouts. And then they'll have another commercial where they do then they'll have the rule announcements. The ref will get his FaceTime. And then, 20, 25 minutes easy. But I mean, no better place to spend a fight night. Listen, I know we have our places. We have our rec room for game day Sundays, but for a fight night, I mean, I have not seen a better place in the North Towns or maybe in all of Buffalo than Amherst Ale House. Great. It's just small enough to be intimate, even though you could easily have 100 people in there. And it's just a Grams there. Every single time there's been a momentous moment, and I don't mean to use that ridiculous phrase, but I mean, whether it was you staring up at the screen and all, whether it was 47-foot Kyle just going nuts and going under the table. I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
There could be local celebrities there tonight. There could be a Tim Graham. There could be a Baby Joe Macy. Who knows? I mean, you don't know who.
I did hear from an inside source. I don't mean to dox him, but I heard Tim Graham's going to be in KC tonight because he's there for the Bills game. But the one breaking news we have that's good for you: 4th and 8, Old Dominion coming up here. 2013, they're down. But the thing is, you have to have a strong will betting because you take some beats early in these college games, you get demoralized and you don't make your plays, plain simple. So that's why they call it a slate. You don't want to say I'm betting these all no matter what, but you also don't want to not be yourself. You don't want to not stick to your units when you have a couple bad beats. And that's, Captain Obvious, you got to play responsibly throughout the day. It's a long haul.
Maniac, what do you think about this line? Fury minus 295, Wilder a pretty decent dog at plus 235. Total rounds, the over-under is 7.5. You heard Slick today on his video. He said is Slick pick lock in this fight, Fury by knockout, minus 115, pretty much pick him.
Yeah, and I talked to our guy Rosas, who hates that. So I'm probably going to be fading Slick. I love Slick. I also love Rosas. I think Slick, when it comes to the octagon, knows what he's talking about, but I don't know if he knows what he's talking about in the square.
And I'm telling you, Slick has been heating up a little bit, but his main event picks typically are.
Main event picks are tough. Slick does the best when he's going under the radar almost. I don't mean to say that he's not a main event guy, but it's just when the eyes are off him, that's when he prospers for sure. With that said, I'm going to lay a little bit on Wilder tonight. I'm not going to go crazy, but 2.3 to 1. I think it's a good story. I think that when you watch his film too, I'm not going to claim to know boxing film. Like that would just be silly and disingenuous of me. But I mean, these haymakers are crazy, and everyone says he throws the biggest punches in the game. So if he connects with one or two of them, you never know.
Exactly.
I mean, COVID for Fury. I mean, let's face it. Whether it's MMA, whether it's UFC, boxing. These fighter lines, they like to be stubborn, whether it's, barely giving McGregor as a pick-em when he's like out of fighting shape and not even really ready to go. So again, I know McGregor and Fury Wilder is, you're not really supposed to compare those two, but that's just the way I see it as far as the lines get made. So that's why I think they're giving away a little dap with the Wilder line. I think the Wilder should probably be like plus 150 or something, not plus 235.
Yeah, I think it's a little crazy. And Maniac, I know I'm not going to act like I'm a boxing guru or anything like that. And my Marshall, let's go.
Game over.
Gets it done. All I'm going to say is, and it's totally different because I grew up loving watching Floyd, Pacquiao, those types of fights. And those types of fights are completely different from obviously these types of heavyweights with Fury and Wilder. But I always think these big fights that we watch in boxing are typically just duds. Like, you don't see that.
So someone realized a while back they get a lot of money. And I don't know whether you're right. Like, the Mayweather-Pacquiao was really like – because Mayweather-De La Hoya was legit, and then Mayweather-Pacquiao was legit. Like, I remember at the end of Mayweather-Pacquiao, them both, like, jumping up on the corners of the ring thinking they won. Like, do you remember that?
Yep.
Like, crazy. And then obviously – and then you had Mayweather-McGregor kind of like that was kind of like a cash grab, but it was also like a spectacle. And now they're all just cash grabs. People are like, it really doesn't matter. I don't mean to sound, condescending to the fighting game or whatever, but it's really more, do you want to see this person fight as opposed to like, are they good fighters? I guess would be the thing. Those are the people that are cashing in. The people that can sell it are cashing in right now versus the ones that are talented. That's how I see it.
So speaking of the duds, the fights, Mayweather's classic going the full 12 rounds, boring defensive fights. Everyone wants Floyd to get the knockout. He never does it. Answer this question, Maniac, to the best of your ability. Fury by decision is plus 260. So KO minus 115, decision plus 260, not too crazy. What do you think Wilder is by decision?
Wilder by decision, I mean, I got to assume that they're giving him better odds for like a longevity. I mean, I would think so. But the way you're asking it has me worried that he's like plus 320. So I'm going to say he should be like plus 215 by those odds, but he's probably like plus 400.
Wilder by decision, 16-1.
Yeah, how does that make sense?
Right, I had to write that down to tell you that. I'm like, wait, am I reading this right?
Yes. That does not add up at all to me.
No, those odds not. I'm just stunned when I saw that. So they're clearly thinking it's going to be Fury KO, Wilder KO, not going the distance. So I don't know. As a boxing fan, I kind of want it, or I'm not a boxing. Well, I try to be a boxing fan, but as a boxing bettor, I love to take the over 7.5, but I don't know. That would be my lean, over 7.5.
It's like 12-1 to be done in 60 seconds, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's exciting. Can't wait. It's going to be a great spot to be tonight, Amherst Ale House.
Hey, real quick before we sign off, MLB playoffs. We know producer Burrs, his Braves are just starting right now, 5:07. Brewers were minus 120 on the money line. Fried versus Woodruff. Maniac, I got to ask you, are my Dodgers dead in the water? Are they in trouble?
No, but they need to win tonight. I mean, to be honest, tonight would actually be a good spot for you to hedge them up a little bit, get a little bit more value for your dollar. But if you're worried, I mean, nobody is shocked that they lost that they lost game one, that they lost one game to the Giants. But I don't think anybody sees them or saw them losing 2 in a row in this series. So it makes tonight all the more important.
Bro, Logan Webb's off speed and changeup, they couldn't get it. They just could. I'm like,
it is. San Fran seems like that sketchy softball team in your league that's made of like just all like 9 to 5 guys, and they just all hammer, and they're all pretty evenly skilled, and the pitches are just enough to get it done. It's crazy.
Yep.
The one ridiculous stat for San Fran this year that I read about the regular season, trailing in the 8th inning, they've won 20% of their games that they've been trailing in the 8th inning. Like, that's ridiculous. Like 1 out of 5. So anytime they're down in the 8th inning, it's basically 1 out of 5. They got a shot to win. I mean, so it's just ridiculous. They're never done.
No. 2 more things on this on these Giants. One, did you watch the game last night?
Giants Dodgers?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, I mean, that San Francisco crowd.
Rocking?
I mean, no. Like, dude, I felt they're quiet. Like, when I think of Yankees, Red Sox, like watching that wild card.
Oh, yeah, they're going nuts.
That Giants crowd, I don't know. I just didn't feel – I mean, obviously, when Buster hit that out, clearly it's going to become unglued. But
yeah.
Very, like – I didn't get the playoff vibe. Obviously,
Yeah, no. If it's 1-0 Red Sox in the top of the 6th with bases loaded for Boston, like Yankee Stadium is rocking, trying to like get to the bottom of the 6th for sure.
Exactly.
But you're right. But you're saying at an impartial situation, it was kind of just quiet, like a library.
Exactly. That was my one thing I wanted to point out there. Second thing, have you ever seen Vegas get that crushed by an over/under win total like the Giants? Their over/under win total was 73.
What about Bowling Green? I know they lost today, but they were supposed to have over under a half MAC win, a half regular season win. They freaking slaughtered both those.
Well,
the thing about Vegas is that we both know they're just stubborn as hell. Like whether it's the Avalanche line driving that to like a pick 'em when they're up 2-0 on the Knights. I mean they like to be stubborn, and when they have a jump on it, they like to get a jump on it. That's why the Bills. I mean, I think they're even still lackadaisical with the Bills at minus 715. If the Bills win tomorrow night, they're going to be minus like 2,000 to win the division. Like,
yeah, I mean, I wish I had more money to do stuff like that, but it's just not possible.
You say it so depressingly.
I mean, the Bills are literally that's the freest.
They are like when you go back 4 weeks and the Bills were literally minus 150, minus 200, and then minus 133 in the span of like a week.
Yep.
You're like, how is I not like just like putting every cent I have just on that? Like, it's too busy trying to put it with other stuff or everything like that. It's so silly. You're right.
All right, folks. You know where to find us tonight. Amherst Ale House. I know some of the train wreck crew is going to be popping in around 9. Maniac, where are you going before?
We're going to be at Polish Cadets. We'll be checking out Mega Bite. Ronnie is going to be in action, so we're super excited. Last time train wreck crew was checking out Mega Bite, Ronnie was eating hot dogs, and now he's going to be hot dogging it himself, hoping to win a wrestling match. Yeah, so we got train wreck guys going to that first. And then, I know the event at the Ale House starts at 10. Fight, realistically, though, probably not till 11:30 with the undercard still happening. But thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. We'll be back. And can't forget, Rec Room tomorrow night. Bills Chiefs. Can't wait to see you all there. Good night.
Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more